After losing over 100 pounds on Zepbound, the one thing I've learned is this: the scale doesn't lie, but people love to argue with it. At the end of the day, weight loss still comes down to one simple scientific truth, and that is calories in versus calories out. And today I'm breaking it down in the simplest way possible so you can finally stop guessing and start making real progress on your GLP-1 journey. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome to the channel where we talk all things GLP-1, weight loss, and lifestyle changes to live a healthier and happier life. This is the second video in what I'll call my plateauing series, I guess. It's kind of an extension of the first one. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go check it out here. I did talk about kind of what causes plateauing and some of the main reasons and how to look at it and change the trajectory a little bit. And one of those things I mentioned in that video, of course, is this one right here: calories in, calories out. So I kind of jump started in that one a little bit. So again, if you haven't seen that yet, you can go check it out. They're extremely related, but also quite independent. So if you want to watch it after this, totally cool. Do want to talk about calories in, calories out. This is something that gets a lot of pushback, and I'm going to break it down the simplest way that I can today, in a way I think is going to be not so controversial, but I know some people are still going to push back on it. But just follow me if you will, because I don't think it's worth getting bent out of shape over when someone mentions calories in versus calories out, or move more, eat less. Okay, so simply put, a calorie is just a measure of energy. If you think about it like this: take your car and you put fuel in it. That's your calories in. You're putting energy into the car. It needs fuel to move, right? And then the car does move. You step on the gas and it goes. That's calories out. You're burning calories. You're using that energy now. Okay. And then let's say you don't drive until the tank is empty. You still have some fuel left in the tank. Well, that's a surplus. You now have extra fuel, extra energy that you didn't use, but you already put into the car. So what happens? So it sits in the tank as reserved energy for later. Let's look at the human body. The human body is the same way. We eat, we drink. Don't forget drink. Drinks are, calories there, guys, that often get overlooked. But we eat or we drink and we put the calories into our body. We fuel our body with energy. And then we move around. We move our hands. We talk. We walk. We just function. We, like anybody else. We sleep. We eat. We do everything. All the things. Exercise, no exercise, whatever. Just moving around burns energy. Okay. Sleeping, not moving, burns energy. Just to function, the organs moves energy. Okay. So all this is burning calories, but if you eat or drink more calories, energy, you put more in than you burn throughout the day, your body does the same thing the car does. It stores it in the tank being, of course, your body. And the way it does that is it converts those calories in whatever form they come into your body as fat. So it stores it as fat. That's the units that it stores it in. That's the macros it stores it in. That's what happens. That's just science. I didn't make it up. It's science. Don't hate me. I'm just the messenger. Okay. That's the simplest way to explain what calories are, how they work in that regard. Okay. So expanding upon that, the calories in part, right? That's where you're consuming anything, food, drink, whatever, anything that has calories to it, energy to it. You're moving it from one place to another. You're putting it into your body and then you're using it. And like I was saying a moment ago, if you eat or drink more than your body uses, it stores it as fat for later use, which again, you can use later, or if you don't, it just keeps storing it up and get fatter and fatter and fatter, which is where some of us end up, this guy included, right? Now, if you consume fewer calories than your body needs, you're in what's called a calorie deficit. Your body needed more calories and you didn't give it to it. So one of two things are going to happen. Your body's going to quit burning calories so much and slow everything down, or it's going to tap into your calorie storage, your fat storage. So if you have a surplus already stored up in your tank and you go on a deficit, you eat fewer or drink fewer calories than you're going to need for that day's expenditure, and you have fat stored in your body, that is stored up energy. Your body will tap into it, start using it, and you're good to go. All right, so this is where I'm going to start looking at my notes a little bit because I just want to make sure I'm accurate on this. I know people are already going to come in the comments about the calories in, calories out. That's cool. But, I want to make sure I have my facts in order. So pardon me if I look off camera just a little bit here. But the calories out portion, I want to break down a little bit differently. you have what's called your total daily energy expenditure, right? A lot of people would call it your metabolism. It's actually a little bit more than that, your basal metabolic rate or whatever. It's more than that. We're going to talk about that too, but it's the amount of energy, the amount of calories that you're going to burn throughout the day for everything, okay? And that's broken down to 4 major groups. You got your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. You hear BMR all the time, right? This is about 60 to 75% of your total daily expenditure. Now think about that in context of everything. 60 to 75% is just your basal metabolic rate. And as we break this down, you're going to start hearing, okay, I thought maybe that would be more, or I thought this would be less. Okay, so this is the most basal metabolic rate. What is that? This is just to keep you alive. This is your breathing, your heart beating, your brain functioning, your digestion, etc. Just keeping you alive, keeping you functioning to the smallest degree. Okay, so you're not just a blob floating around and slithering on the floor. Just to keep you alive and just get everything flowing and going and everything. Your BMR says this is how much energy I need every single day. That's your BMR. 60 to 70% of your entire expenditure. That's crazy to me when I was researching this. Crazy. Then you have what's called NEAT. That's NEAT, NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, all the unconscious movement you do while awake. So the talking, the walking, the moving the hands, the gesturing, right? The smiling, the frowning, whatever it is, the movements and stuff that you do, the unintentional stuff. Now, we're not talking about exercise or anything like that. This is the unintentional, right? This is the non-exercise. So this is the just getting from point A to point B. But then you have TEF. TEF stands for thermic effect of food. Now, this is really, really cool, guys. And this could be a video in itself. And I think you should do research on it if you're interested in it. But this is far out and away something that's more deeper than I'll ever get into. I'm not a scientist or a biologist. I don't have a degree in any of this kind of stuff here. So I'm not going to get into it. But it's really, really neat, right? So thermic effect of food, the calories you burn while you digest food. Okay, that's the actual digestion of food. Here's what's cool. You hear protein pushed all the time for weight loss for multiple reasons, and rightfully so. But here's what's cool about eating protein. Protein takes 2 to 3 times more energy to digest than carbs. So every time you eat protein, it's going to take 2 to 3 times more energy. You're going to burn more calories digesting protein than you are carbs. It takes 2 to 3 times more energy to burn carbs than it does fat. So if you think about it, as you structure your meal plan and think about your macros, the more protein you have, the more calories you burn while you're eating it, and then carbs and then fat. I know different diets will have you going in different ways, and I'm not telling you what kind of diet to have, but I will say, one, it takes less energy to burn fat because it's going to end up storing it as fat, using it as fat. It's converting everything to fat basically that's unused. So there's less to do there, number one. Number two, fats are very calorically dense. I did mention in the last video, I believe, that 1 gram of fat has twice as many calories as carbs or protein. It's very calorically dense. So when you find stuff that's lower fat, no fat, or leaner meats or whatever, that tends to be able to allow you to eat more of it for fewer calories because of the lack of fat. Fat is just very calorically dense. So that's a big plug to put protein in your diet, among many other reasons why. But if that doesn't encourage you to do it enough, I don't know what to tell you. The last of the 4 categories is called EAT. Now, it's not what you think. It is actually exercise activity thermogenesis. That's your intentional exercise, your intentional walking. That's going to the gym, you're walking at night, your cardio, whatever it is. That's moving around with the intent to burn calories and to exercise, right? Most people think this is where you actually make the biggest dent because they're like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to burn all these calories. I'm going to go jogging. I'm going to burn all these calories. It's not. The biggest impact is just your living, just breathing and organs functioning and stuff like that. Your BMR. That's, again, to me, that's crazy because I think a lot of people think oppositely on that one. All right, so we talked about calories in, we talked about calories out. Now, how do I apply that? How do I take a look at CICO, as some will call it? So the first thing I do is I accept and acknowledge that calories is not some big scary word or anything like that. It's just a unit of measurement for energy. That's all it is. I accept that. I acknowledge that. I accept it. We move on. The second thing I accept in that same vein is that the law of thermodynamics, which is that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. Okay, so keeping that in mind, I apply that to the human body, to how we function, how we operate, right? So I understand that it takes calories to function, and as it functions, the human body, it burns or utilizes those calories to do the actions that it needs to do to function, whatever that may be, internally, externally, whatever, right? If I don't get enough calories, I can't function properly. If I get too many, my body will store them as fat until I need them at a later date. And if I need to utilize that store again, well, it'll tap in there and I'll lose weight, which is ideal, right? So because I do currently have too much stored energy, fat, that's what I want to do. I want to create that calorie deficit. So I want to eat or drink fewer calories than I burn throughout the day. So I have two options there, right? I can either eat or drink less than what I have been on a regular basis for the last, 10, 15, 20 years, or I can increase my activity level, or I can do a combination of both. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I recommend to a lot of people. I do all of this by tracking my calories, right? I track my calories daily. I weigh myself daily. I only do an official weigh-in on Fridays, but I do weigh myself daily. I've mentioned that before. I walk 30 plus minutes after dinner most nights, and I go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, and I lift heavy. Maybe not heavy to you, but to me, I lift heavy. I push myself to failure. I'm looking for hypertrophy and growing my muscle. I want to add more muscle to my body, more muscle on my body. The higher my BMR, the more I'm going to burn calories over time, and which takes me to my next point. When I go to the gym and I work out, my goal is not to burn calories. I'm not trying to use a lot of energy and burn a lot of calories, because I'm not going to burn off a donut, right? A donut could be 200 plus calories or whatever, or a crumble cookie. Think about how calorically dense those are. It's easier just to push that away than it is to try to go to the gym and work that off. So I don't go to the gym trying to work off the things I ate. I go to the gym to build the muscle. My focus when I go to the gym is go to the gym, lift heavy, build muscle. And then when I'm at home and I'm meal planning or meal prepping, my goal is to budget or balance my calories so that I can create a deficit. And that way I can control my weight that way, and yet go to the gym and work on building the muscle. Two completely different mindsets. My weight is controlled by my diet. My muscle and getting in shape and exercising and that side of it comes from the gym. They're not one and the same. I treat those as two completely different things. Hey, look, I know I hear it in the comments, but the truth be told, calories in, calories out. That's what it comes down to. Now, the equation is simple. Calories in, calories out, right? A minus B equals C. A, your calories in, minus B, your calories out, equals C, your calorie surplus or deficit, right? Figuring out what A, B, and C all equal, that's why they're called variables. I don't know. I don't have a real good way to break that down. I could probably do another video on that, but at the end of the day, we never really know. We never really know. But you can control the controllables. You can't control how many calories you burn throughout the day. You can try, but you're not going to. But you can do things to aid in that. You can go exercise more. You can consciously move more. You can stand more than sit more. You can go to the gym and lift heavy weights, or get some weights at home and lift heavy weights. You can do what you can for that, but you still can't control how your hormones play a role, your cortisol levels, your testosterone, if you got low testosterone, or whatever, you need to get that stuff checked out. But you can't directly control that, but you can directly control your calories in by planning it, by tracking it, and being more conscious and aware of that. And that's a good thing to do, because if you're not losing weight, then you're either not burning as many calories as you thought you were, or you're eating more calories than you need to eat. And you need to reevaluate that and take a true look at where you're at and where you want to be, and make the adjustments to get to the finish line. Track honestly, make small adjustments, and be patient. This is a long-term journey. This is a marathon. not a sprint. I've said that before, and I've mentioned it in other videos as well. Don't forget, I have one more video in this series coming out that'll be dropping pretty soon. Keep an eye out for that. I think I'm going to do another special video. I am finishing up my very first week with IVRX. IVRX is who I am now getting my GLP-1s through. And so depending on how the results go from that, I'll be dropping a video and laying that out there, being completely transparent. Because again, I don't want to partner and push somebody that I don't see, being fruitful for success, not monetarily or anything like that. But if it's not working, it's not working. And I'll be honest with you guys on that one. Don't forget to check out this video here. It's going to help you on your GLP-1 journey. And look, if you found this video helpful, how about hitting that like button down there and, consider subscribing so you can come back and check out the next plateauing video when it drops. Guys, don't forget to go out there and conquer the scale. Never let the scale conquer you. See you on the next one.